everyone, welcome to Healthy Living Online. I'm Angela, the Wellness Program Manager at Curry Senior Center, and joining me today is Humberto, our Senior Health Educator, and Lauren Hall, our National Health Corps member. We teach a monthly class at Curry called Healthy Living, and we're here virtually for this month's class, which is about mental balance, and this is part one of this class.
I'm so glad we're going to be touching on this subject, mental balance. And what we're going to do is learn about what it actually is, the risk factors affecting mental balance, and what an imbalance actually looks like, and how you can cope with it. Lauren will begin by explaining what mental balance is and what it kind of looks like.
Thanks, Humberto. Mental balance is defined as a state of well-being where the individual realizes their own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively, and is also able to make a contribution to their community. It's also important to note that mentally healthy people may experience appropriate human emotions like fear, anger, sadness, and grief, while at the same time possessing enough resilience to restore their mental balance.
So, what are the risks of a mental imbalance situation? I would have to say chronic conditions such as reduced mobility, definitely pain, heart disease, and other health problems can put a strain on our mental health. In addition, major life events like bereavement or the loss of a loved one or retirement can unbalance us. Next, we'll ask Angela, how does mental imbalance manifest in your daily life?
That's a great question, Humberto. So mental imbalance can show up in many different ways. One of the primary ways that it can manifest is through anxiety. So a worldwide pandemic and social unrest are enough to make any of us feel stressed and anxious, upset. And it's normal for everyone to feel a little nervous every once in a while, and that feeling of anxiety should only be temporary. However, with the current situation, people have been experiencing anxiety that lasts a few days to a few weeks to even longer these days.
Another symptom of dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, along with some social unrest that we are experiencing now, is experiencing depression. If you notice yourself feeling any symptoms of sleep disturbances, an uninterest in your normal activities, or slow thinking, you may be experiencing a depressive episode. It's important to note that these feelings are natural. Humberto, what are some ways that we can cope with feeling mentally imbalanced?
Well, lucky for us, there are many ways to cope with this kind of stress. According to the Centers for Disease Control, there are several ways older adults can stay happy, healthy, and mentally balanced during these difficult times. I would say number one would have to be not getting thoroughly involved in the news cycles all day long. Definitely taking a break from all the news coverage of the pandemic, of the election, of the insurrection, of everything that's happened, over basically the dumpster fire that was 2020. We sometimes have to take a break. Limit your hours. Say, I'm going to watch this much national news and this much local news, and that's all I'm going to watch. The other thing I would say is make sure that you have time to take a rest and to relax. Every day you should set aside some time for fun activities that you enjoy. So whatever you enjoy to do, knitting or playing with your pet, and, going out for walks, anything that you like to do it. Set aside that activity so that hey, I'm going to be able to go and do this thing and have a good time at this time. Something to look forward to. Also staying connected with your friends and family. So reaching out to your loved ones and people that you trust so that you can share these concerns and these feelings that you're having. And you'll probably notice that many other people are feeling exactly the same. Definitely, there are many ways that we can do this these days. We live in the future. There is Skype and there is Zoom. There's Google, there's texting, and good old phone calls. Dial up somebody. They probably won't answer, but you can leave a message and call you back. So definitely, share your feelings with people.
Thanks, Humberto. I think that's such a good point to be reaching out to others because you're probably helping them with their mental balance as well by staying in touch with them. Some other
point.
good suggestions are to remember to take deep breaths. A lot of times when we're anxious, we're breathing really shallow, and taking deep breaths tends to calm down your mind. Making some time to stretch or meditate can also be a way to keep yourself mentally balanced. And certainly avoiding extremes, even too much of a good thing, can be harmful, whether that's sleeping or eating ice cream or even walking. You don't want to do too much of a good thing. So, keeping that in balance can also be a helpful tip.
Yeah, that's great. I find myself telling myself that I need to treat myself with some ice cream or a cookie. But it's also important while you are able to treat yourself, but not only eat cookies. So you want to maintain a healthy and well balanced diet with your fruits and vegetables and proteins and all that good stuff. But make sure it's balanced, makes you feel more energized and ready for the day. It's also important to maintain your hygiene. If you're feeling down, sometimes just taking a shower and brushing your hair can make you feel just like a new person and a lot better about yourself
Getting out of
also.
your pajamas. Getting out.
Definitely. Another tip is to exercise regularly, whether it's just chair yoga or taking a walk around the block. Getting those endorphins in your body moving really helps you kind of clear your head and get a new perspective on things. And lastly, it's really important to get plenty of sleep. I find myself, if I don't get my 8 hours, I can be grumpy or not myself. And so, but when I do get that enough sleep, I feel way better and ready for the day.
Amen, sister. I'm a 9+ hours myself, or else I am the grump. But yeah, thanks. Those were all great tips and great ideas for helping to maintain that important mental balance. Thank you all for joining us on this episode of Healthy Living Online. I hope that this discussion on mental balance can help you recognize when you're feeling a little imbalanced, and you have some tools now to help rebalance yourself.
Thanks, Humberto. And thanks everyone for joining us. Please join us for Mental Balance Part 2. We're going to be discussing additional coping strategies and mindfulness. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.